Hello, everyone. You're all very welcome to Underground Cinema. Now, as you all know, we are in the depths of interviewing as many nominees as we can for the forthcoming Underground Cinema Film Awards, which is just around the corner in November. We're sort of halfway through our interviews now at the moment with our nominees this year. I'm delighted that I've got one of our international filmmakers along with me. Dan Burns is with me today. He's sitting here at home in Denver at the moment. Very welcome, Dan.
Thanks so much for having me, Dave. Pleasure to talk with you.
Not at all. Dan, one thing great that if I was to put a positive spin on COVID, I'll say this. When COVID came along, we used to host a live film festival in Dollery and in County Dublin in Ireland. And when COVID came along, we ended up going online, and it was probably one of the best things we ever did, because we were able to showcase a huge amount of films online, but it also gave us a great opportunity to talk to a lot of filmmakers from around the world. So it's a great opportunity to talk to the likes of yourself in America today. When you sent the film into us, I read the notes and I thought this was fantastic. You described the film. The film is called "Come Out Wherever You Are," and you described this film as Yellowstone meets the Twilight Zone, which I think is a brilliant hook. Can you tell us all about the film and maybe just give us a rundown of what it's all about?
Well, this film started many years ago. I originally wrote it as a short story that was published in my first story collection, and it was based upon a lot of my experiences in Montana, and I think what I was going through in my personal and professional life, being always connected to technology, and I just came up with this idea of what if somebody wanted to leave that technological tether behind and live their life in solitude. And I stuck them in Montana because it's a beautiful place and it's easy to get lost there. And after 6 years, his past comes back to haunt him, and so he runs. And while he's away trying to ride out the storm, life as he knows it is changed forever. And I love the whole Yellowstone series. We really tried to capture that look. I've been a fan of the Twilight Zone forever, and I love the way we can talk about societal issues and put people into situations that may or may not flush out the way we think. And so many of my stories are like that, and certainly this film is like that as well.
Yeah. It's a super story. And your lead actor is fantastic. Your whole cast did a great job. Another star of this film as well, Sashi Montana. It's stunning. Your cinematographer captured it so well. Every shot is just absolutely beautiful. You did a lot of post-production work on this. Can you tell me about and also can you just chat to us about your director as well, Caitlin?
Yeah, so making a film is just a huge undertaking, and having the best people with you makes it all the more pleasurable and easier. And I don't know if you believe in fate. I think I kind of do. How I met our director, Caitlin Pressburg, really just kind of a chance meeting. My next door neighbor had a niece who was completing her master's program in film directing and thought we should meet. And we met and hit it off. And, that was 7 years ago. I saw some of her films, and I was immediately drawn to her approach and style to storytelling. And it was very easy for me to go to her with this script and say, I really want you to direct this film for me. And she had never directed anything she hadn't written, so it was new for her. But she loved the story, and I think we had a great relationship, and we trusted each other. So she said, I'm in. And the beautiful part of it was the cinematographer who had done all of her prior films came along as a package. She said, if I'm going to direct, Ian Vo is going to be our cinematographer. And I said, that's perfect because I love the look of, his films and his style and his approach. And so we, again, very fortunate, we had this 3-person creative team that began, a relationship based upon trust and respect and focusing on what each person could bring to the table. And, you mentioned the cinematography. I couldn't agree more. I mean, the way, and it was really a cinematographic team. Our director of photography and the director together created those shots, but they perfectly captured the state of Montana as a character, which was really important for this film, and lighting and putting the characters in that environment in the most perfect way. We couldn't be happier.
Yeah, he did a super job. I mean, he really captured Montana so well. Like some of the shots of the clouds in the sky, some of those shots are absolutely superb. They look amazing.
Yeah, it was, we had, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but we had a change in the story, and the environment had to reflect that change, right? In terms of what was going on in the landscape, in the sky. And our ability to capture that, I think it worked very well because, the audience, as they're watching, they may not know it outright, but they can sense and they feel that there's a change happening just in the way we're capturing the natural world. Isn't that beautiful? And I think the way our team captured that worked very well.
The production values of this are superb, Dan. An awful lot of thought went into, to every aspect of this film. The locations are great. Your supporting cast are brilliant. Every one of the supporting cast are super. So the guys that we meet in the stores, even the costumes look great. They tick all the boxes. I'm just wondering, just with regard to the work that went into it before you began to shoot. Had you know a lot of work to do beforehand prior to the shoot? Getting
Yes.
the location, getting the casting right.
Yeah, well, thank you for mentioning that. I mean, I think we have a great ensemble cast, and I think that's important. There are only 4 characters, but they have to be able to work together collaboratively and seamlessly as a unit. And, I had this story in my head for over 10 years, so I knew who these characters looked like in my head. The question was, how do we capture them in real life? And we were, post-COVID, and we hired all local cast and crew in Montana, and our creative team was in Chicago. So it was very difficult to do in-person auditions and interviews. So we did everything remotely. Our cast sent in audition tapes, videos, and then we followed up with interviews and then did some rehearsal together, which worked out really well. And it's, you go with your gut, you go with who you think looks the part and can bring that character and that dialogue to life the best. And I think we were comfortable with each of them from the start, and each of them looked pretty much exactly how I envisioned them when I first wrote the story. And especially with respect to the character Pete, who is the general store owner. If you read the book and how I describe him, that's exactly how he looks on the film. And even, to the beard, to everything. And we worked with the Montana Film Office to help support us in gaining cast and crew, and they were fantastic. And they had an online database of available cast, and I found Douglas Hurricane Hall through that process, and I asked him to audition because in my mind he was that character. And so he did, and it was perfect. And again, together they make just a beautiful ensemble cast.
Yeah, they're super. I mean, you were not just the writer on this, Dan. You're also the producer as well. What did you find the most challenging aspect of making this film?
So, I mean, being a producer is, I think, an incredible opportunity. It's a big responsibility, but it's an opportunity to oversee just about every aspect of the production. And therein lies the challenge, right? All of those details have to be thought of and planned for and managed. And so Caitlin Pressburg, our director, and myself, she and I were pretty much a continuous 9 months planned out the production. Every single aspect, every possibility, even if it wasn't likely. And then we had contingency plans for our contingency plans. So the biggest challenge was we only had 4 days to shoot, and any hiccup in that 4-day schedule could have been problematic. And so my job as producer and working with everyone on the team was to make sure that didn't happen. And if a problem did happen, that we had an immediate response to solve that problem and keep us on schedule. And I'm happy to say that, it really went without a hitch. And we didn't have to employ any of our backup or contingency plans. And but that was the biggest challenge to getting through the film shoot. And then, post-production, the biggest challenge is, getting it finished. There's a lot of work that goes into, making a final film. And while I think we were all really comfortable with the film we shot, we could have used it as is. But, you go through color, and sound was a critical aspect for us. We spent a lot of time, and we tripled our budget on the sound post-production because it's so critical in every movie. And so we felt it was very worthwhile. And again, the production, being a producer, a great opportunity. I'm so glad I did it, and I look forward to doing it again.
I couldn't agree more with you, Dan, with regard to sound, both location sound and post-production sound. And it's really important, I say to the filmmakers in Ireland as well, as a festival director and a festival programmer, we watch a lot of films. So we can get up to about 300 or 400 films into us, over the course of the season. So there's a lot of films to watch. It's really important that the sound is good on your film, because you want to get the film programmer's attention straight away. And there's nothing worse than seeing something that's actually beautifully shot, very well acted, the production values are great, and very poor sound, because the programmer will more than likely start switching off. And it's not that he's going to diss the film or not going to pick the film. He'll move on to another film. So you want the programmer to watch the film from start to finish.
Right.
And the other thing is, you don't want to put so much work into your film to be let down by bad sound when you go and watch it in the theater. It's really disappointing when you're listening to surround sound, and it's just not up to the level that you wanted. So it's worth spending that extra few dollars to get the right sound person in that will do a really, really good job. Your sound is super in the film, but I'll tell you what else is great. The score is great as well. It's not over the top. It's atmospheric. Who did the score for you?
Well, we thank you for saying that. We felt all along that we could have taken the easier, less costly way of using pre-recorded music.
Yeah.
But from the start, we all agreed that an original soundtrack was was necessary. And so we wanted it to be a character in the film. So, I mean, you mentioned that it's not over the top, and that's great to hear because it's not intended to be. But I think the audience can feel that music and sense that music as a character in propelling, slowing, changing the course of direction of the story, which is what we really wanted to accomplish. And we were so fortunate. We had two incredible people, our composer and our guest cellist who worked on that score. And the beautiful thing is when we give these folks the film and then they create this original composition and we don't change a thing because it's perfect, and that's magic, right? How does somebody look at a film and then create this music that captures what's going on in the story with the characters? And so we were very happy with that. And again, I thank you for your comments. I'm glad you appreciate it. And I will say, one other comment on the sound, and you mentioned it. We had talked to so many people that were involved in film festivals and programmers, and if the programmer turns your film off before it's finished because of the sound, that's the worst possible scenario, right? You spend all this time shooting this beautiful film. Like you say, you want the person to watch it all the way through. And so any roadblock, whether it's sound or anything else, we felt that it was necessary to get that out of the way. So have the full experience watching the film, and then whatever decision is made, we're okay with that. And then same thing with the audience. Watch it all the way through, and then let us know what you think. But as long as we can get everyone through for that full time, we're happy.
Yeah, you've got your film for Freeway submission is excellent, Dan, I have to say, because you submit the poster, there's a nice trailer there, the film looks great, there's a good cover letter, the director's bio, the synopsis on the film. There's so much information there for a film programmer to read, which is really important. I find it crucial, to be honest with you, because it gives me a great sense of where the film is coming from. Selection is not just about the actual, especially for an independent film festival. The selection is not just about the film itself. It's the story behind the film, and the making of the film is really important to us as well. So you put an awful lot of information in. It's not over the top again. It was really interesting, and I think that really helped your selection at Underground Cinema. So the film was superb. It was going to get picked anyway, but the information that you sent with it along really helped me as a film festival director and a programmer. I'd like to know what's going on behind the scenes of these films. So well done.
Well, thank you so much for reading it. I think it depends on program director and festival, and certainly filmmakers I talk to. So many don't believe in the cover letter, but I think why not? And every film has a story. And it can be anything. Ours was about our director and kind of how we got to the point of even making the film, in the first place. And we felt that was important to share, even if only one person read it. And so I've talked to so many filmmakers on the film festival circuit, and we talk about that. And my goal is to convert them to, tell their story in addition to the film, because I think it goes a long way to the experience for the programmer. And thanks again for reading it.
Yeah, definitely, Dan. It does. And you can tell your filmmaker friends that's what a lot of the festival directors in Ireland look for, is a little bit more information. The worst submission in the world is a film that is sent into us with a poster that is a screen grab from the movie and text superimposed on it, and one line description, or sometimes not even no description of the film. The film is just sent into us with no information at all. That's really poor. We love when a filmmaker puts a lot of work into the submission. I think it's part of the whole process. And when you are just about to press the button submit, you should be thinking, is, have I put enough on this for a festival director to pick this film? And
Right.
then when you're happy with that, press submit, and it's gone. Dan, tell me about the audience reaction so far, because I see a lot of laurels on your poster, which is fantastic. They're popping up all the time on it. How's it going down in the film festival circuit at the moment?
You know, it's been incredible. You know, when we started the film festival process, we thought, you know, our primary goal was to get as many people to watch the film as possible, right? And so we've certainly accomplished that through the film festival process. And, you know, we thought, you know, if we could get selected for 5 festivals and maybe win an award, wouldn't that be great? But we've worked the process hard. I mean, our goal is to make contact with, you know, great people like yourself that are running fantastic festivals to say, here's our film. You know, we think it would be great to be part of it. And so we've, you know, 70 festivals worldwide have selected our film to be part of their festivals. You know, we've won 15 awards. We're very humbled and fortunate. But the greatest part is, and you know, we go to as many as we can. Being part of the screening and then talking to people afterwards is the best. You know, hearing their feedback, their experience, their emotional impact from the film, all of those things mean a lot to us. And I guess the sum of it is that I'm glad we made our film. People are enjoying it. They're loving it. They're leaving the theater thinking about it long after the film is over, which I think is really great. You know, have people think while they're watching the film, but on the ride home, have them go, what about this or what about that? So no, it's been a great experience. Dave, thank you for including us in your festival. It's been a great experience to be nominated. We're honored and humbled. No, it's been great, and we got a little bit further to go. We'll probably be finishing it up in the next 3 months. But I've been telling everyone the film festival experience is unbelievable. The only thing better is being on the film set. That tops all. But after you do that, to be able to continue the life of the film and the experience through film festivals it's a great opportunity. It's been fantastic, and we love it. Thank you.
Dan, you're such a positive guy. It's great to hear such positive comments, and it sounds like the whole experience on this film was fantastic. You really enjoyed it. I can hear it in your voice. So what's next, Dan? What are you going to do next?
Well, I will say it was probably one of the greatest experiences, not only for me but for our entire team. One of the greatest experiences of our lives. To be on that set for 4 days, incredible. I've never seen so many people. Cast and crew of 30, each person leaving their ego at the door to bring their love, their expertise, their professional skills to bring this film to life, right? To create something beautiful. And it was so excellent that, of course, we have to do it again, right? So my director and I, we have a couple of projects that we're looking at. Through the film festival process, a lot of people have been asking what's next with Come Out Wherever You Are, our short film, because it ends, but again, there's a lot of opportunity. And so I'm finishing up the feature film screenplay, which carries that story on in a feature-length movie. We also have another short that we're considering, and another feature, an original feature that Caitlin, our director, has written, that something that we're looking to get started on early next year. So a lot of opportunities. The important thing is getting the group back together and getting back on the film set and making something beautiful.
Yeah. You know, I'm a great believer in this, Dan. Surround yourself with great people, and the end product will be superb. You've done that. So please pass on my congratulations to Caitlin, your crew, and your super cast. We all enjoyed it in Ireland, and congratulations on your nomination at Underground Cinema this year.
Thank you so much. We're honored, and we appreciate it.
Not at all, Dan. And listen, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care, Dan. Take care. Bye-bye.